Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we have concluded today's hearing in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, and the crowning glory of it was that he put up a very good defense of himself, even though he was concentrating on the objections raised to the jurisdiction of the court. On that note, the court adjourned for further hearing to 7th of November, when the court expects that he will enter his full defense. Well, having said that, I know a lot of people have raised questions and eyebrows about the propriety of Nnamdi Kanu representing himself. It is his decision to make. He has the right under the Constitution to defend himself, and this case being politically charged, I think the idea or the notion that this is a normal criminal case has to be dispensed with. This is a normal criminal case at all. If you want to understand the complexity of this case and the true political dimensions to it, you think of the case of Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, or Bafemi Awolowo, Mahatma Gandhi. These cases were all politically tinged cases masquerading as criminal prosecutions. And these great men I mentioned, at some point in their struggle, at some point in their travail imposed on them by the state, they took the podium and defended themselves. So a politically charged case often comes with some unusual dimensions like this. So, because, why? The reason is simple. Lawyers are restricted to very narrow wiggle room when they are doing a case. And that narrow wiggle room can be inimical, can be prejudicial to the interest of the client when the case has a political dimension to it. That thing needs to be out there. That limitation we have is not expected of the defendant himself. So a lot of times, the defendant himself will make the best defense of his case at that very point in time. That does not obviate the fact that the presence of a lawyer in a case is always better. But in certain circumstances, there are exceptions, and the exception is, this one is one of the major exceptions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my Lord has adjourned the matter to 7th of July, 7th of November, for the Mazi to open his defense, or he will foreclose his right of defense. So we are going back to the drawing board, go back to office, look at it, and offer our advice as consultants. But having said that, the issue of talking to the press also came up, and we said no. Right to address the press is a fundamental right, because once we fail to address the press and tell the press the real position of things, they may go about report, especially those of them who don't have the opportunity of coming inside the court. They may go and report another thing. So the court say that we have a right to exercise to address the press, which even the prosecution has confirmed. But he said that we should do it in line with the law, just like as I'm doing it now. I just reported what happened in court, not prejudicing what is happening, what is going to happen. And I believe that just like every other person, we are calling Mr. President to discontinue this trial. It's embarrassing Nigeria the more. Thank you and God bless you.
My people, the atmosphere in court today was nothing short of dramatic. Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, has once again managed to escape what many were calling a judicial blow, but not without a very serious warning from the judge. The message was clear: put up a good defense or be ready to surrender your case. Now, this latest decision is already stirring conversations across the country. Some are calling it a lifeline, others say it's just a delay before the storm. Either way, one thing is certain: the judge is not smiling anymore. But before we go deep into what really happened and what it means for Kanu, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell, because this update is one you need to hear till the end. So, let's get straight into it. The courtroom was filled with lawyers, security officers, and reporters waiting for the big decision. After weeks of back and forth, the court finally told Kanu's legal team to prepare and defend their case. The judge refused to strike out the case but also refused to end it. Instead, he said, the time for delay is over. This means that the government has already finished presenting its evidence, and now, all eyes are on Kanu's team to respond. But here's where it gets tense. Kanu's lawyers have been saying that the charges against him have no legal foundation, that they are based on outdated laws. However, the court says it's time to stop talking about that and start defending the matter before the bench. If you're following this story, you can already tell that this is a make-or-break moment. What happens in the next hearing could determine everything, whether Kanu continues his defense or the court moves straight to judgment. And that's why there's tension not just inside the courtroom, but across Nigeria. Please, if you're watching right now, take a second and click the like button so that more people can join this discussion. Also, subscribe for updates, because I'll be here to break every detail in a way you'll understand clearly. Now, let's talk about the reaction. After the court session, Kanu's lawyer, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor, spoke with reporters. He said that while the decision wasn't perfect, it was at least a relief because the court didn't shut the door completely. In his words, "We're happy the judge didn't foreclose the defense." That means Kanu still has the chance to speak and defend himself. That small opportunity means everything. Because if the case had been closed today, there might be no more room to argue. But now, the stage is set for what could be Kanu's biggest day in court yet. Now, let's take a step back and look at what this really means. For years, this case has divided opinions. Some Nigerians believe Kanu should be freed, that his detention has gone on too long. Others believe the case should go through the full legal process, no matter how long it takes. But today's development has brought a small sigh of relief for his supporters. The words, "put up a good defense," sound simple, but they carry a lot of weight. It's a warning, but it's also an invitation, an opportunity for Kanu to finally present his side properly. And you can feel the pressure now on his legal team. Because if they don't take this chance seriously, the next decision might not be in their favor. If you believe that fairness should guide every legal process, please like this video right now and tell me in the comments what you think about this ruling. Do you think the judge was fair? Or do you think Kanu deserves to be released immediately? I want to hear from you. Now, one thing people are not talking about enough is how this decision affects the peace process. Every time this case comes up, tension rises in the Southeast. People take to social media, groups start discussions, and sometimes even protests follow. So the way this case ends could have a real impact on the country's unity and peace. Some legal experts have also weighed in, saying that this might actually be the best time for dialogue, for the government and Kanu's representatives to explore a peaceful resolution outside the courtroom. But that depends on what happens next in court. If you're still watching, that means you're following this story with keen interest, and I appreciate that. Please remember to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that when we bring part 2, after the next hearing, you won't miss it. Now, here's something to think about. If Kanu decides to go ahead with his defense, we could start hearing witnesses and evidence from his side. That will be the first time since this case began that we'll see his full argument in open court. But if he delays or refuses again, the judge might have no option but to close the case and give a ruling. That's why this stage is very delicate. It's the final bridge between freedom and conviction, between silence and justice. Let's also not forget what Barrister Ejimakor said, that Kanu is ready to defend himself, but only under a lawful framework. That shows confidence, but it also shows caution. He doesn't want to rush into defense under a system he believes is flawed. So you see, this case isn't just about one man, it's about how the system handles sensitive issues like this. So, as Nigerians, we need to pay attention. Whether you support him or not, this case teaches us something important, that justice should be clear, consistent, and fair to all. Let's end with this. Nnamdi Kanu may have escaped the judicial hammer today, but the next court date could change everything. The judge has made it plain, there's no more room for delay. Defend your case or risk losing it completely. And that's why I say, the coming days will decide not only Kanu's fate but also how Nigeria's legal system will be remembered in this chapter of history. Now tell me in the comments, should Kanu continue the defense, or do you think this is the right time for a political solution? Drop your opinion below, because this channel is about giving everyone a voice. Before you go, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with others who are following this case closely. And if you want me to continue the gist with what might happen in the next hearing, just type "continue the gist" in the comment section.